Oh, they have to work so hard. They carry loads that's they see the grass, but they cannot eat the grass.
Yes.
And I guess they have the, they're pulled by the
yes.
the face, something on the face and the mouth. And they keep on, some people keep on working them until they don't have time to rest. Keep on working them, they don't have time to rest.
No time to rest, no time to eat, right?
Yeah, no rest, no eating.
Yes.
It's heavy. They sometimes pull the load that's really heavy for them. Anymore.
Okay. That's great. Thanks, Lorna. You did a good job. You passed. All three of you already passed. So now, Lisa, I can see you there. Lisa, tell me the cows are suffering.
The cows?
Yes.
They're suffering. They're some of the same things apply to the cows because they are worked in some countries. So they're used to do heavy labor. They can suffer from the threat of predators, the looking for food. And in this country, a lot of the time they're kept in these pens where they're, they can't go free, so they're tortured by humans. And I'm trying to think of something else. I don't.
Okay, why the human beings torture the cows?
Because they have created bad karma.
Because it's a desire, right? Human beings desire.
Yes.
Okay, great. So ADG, please tell me, what is God's realm suffering?
The God's realm, well, there's long life and fear, primarily fear of death, and losing their image. The way they look, their vanity. And that's the God's realm. And then you got the jealous gods, which are always jealous of what others what others have.
Yes. Okay, so then what is the sign of death? God realms, sign of death.
Son of death?
Yeah.
Sign of death.
Oh, yeah. Sign of death. Oh, losing their image, their self-image, becoming old, wilted, frattered clothing, and so forth. Their image deteriorates.
They start to smell.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that one. Yes.
Okay. So then, Mary, I can see Mary and despair and come back and despaired. So I have a question for you, Mary.
Okay, I'm here.
Tell me which animal has more suffering?
Which animal?
Yeah.
I think all of it.
Most. Which animal? Okay, which animals more human beings tortured?
Chickens, I think. They keep them in like little tiny cages. Sometimes they cut their feet off. They make them just lay eggs, and then they throw them out. And when they are useless, they just throw them out. And they stack the cages up in these big barns. I can't imagine the smell. And it's no life for a bird.
Right. Yeah,
But,
okay.
But pretty much we eat all of them, so. And
You're
then
right.
when they kill cows, they hit them on that forehead with like some kind of a bat or something. I mean, people are really nasty to them.
Yes. People have to eat this animals meat, but we can take care something better than that way, right?
Well, they
You
could
think so?
at least have a pretty reasonable life before you wring their neck and cook them.
Right. Yes, so that's good thinking, really.
Yeah.
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 Okay. So then, Mary Lane, what do you think? Hungry, jealousy gods.
Jealous gods?
Mm,
They're because they're jealous. So they war and they fight, and they're really angry that they don't have what's in the gods' realm, including the goddesses. And so they fight all the time and they never get what they want.
mm. So then, what happened? The result is
They get, I think they go to a hell realm.
yeah, they're falling in the high realms. That's
Yeah.
the we talk about in the kind of example prayer. Yeah. Okay. So then, Sandra, please tell me one. So which animal you have more compassion?
Pig.
I have compassion for so many.
Or the animals?
Like, yeah, I mean, even like, so I have a dog, you know, and even
Uh,
though we take good care of her, she's so afraid. She has so much fear. You know, the noises scare her.
right.
You can be jealous of other dogs if they have like, if 3 dogs are playing, she wants the attention. You know, she can have jealousy. But really, the hardest thing is seeing her fear. It's really hard. Like 4th of July week was so hard with all the fireworks and stuff. I mean, there was no
Yes.
putting her down, you know. Um, and it's really, I don't know, it's really hard. It's like
Yeah,
having
that's a great. See, think about it, the 4th of July, like people really celebration something, but we see like really crazy ignoring the celebration.
Mhm.
No good for environment
Good for people.
and wasting money, and no good for animals, no good for nature,
Good for
no
humans.
good for anyone. Like we hear the song, is not happy, not pleasant. See, it's always bad things there. But human beings, everyone say, great firework. So accept that, right? So many things like that. Also, like example, actually, I think it's a birthday celebration is crazy too.
Birthday?
New Year is crazy too. New Year celebration is crazy too. What are thoughts? So
Yes, it's
you go into 1 year, it's order like if no one wanted to like year is order, you know, but celebration years then say, oh, years gone, upset, but celebration. Another hand we celebrate. Another hand we upset. Okay. So that's it. The center you said this animal always has a fears, lot fears. Because due to the grasping, animal has a so strong grasping, especially dogs has a strong grasping. We see the dog has a good life because human beings are taking care. So not all the dogs, but in the mostly dogs in the Western country, human beings taking care really well, very well. So give it a good opportunity, everything. Same is like human beings. But there's so much fears and due to the self. Yeah. Okay, so then, oh, Amanda, so then tell me one, which animal you think is more fierce?
Oh, um, I think they're all fearful. So in my house, we have cats outside that we take care of. So they can be, our little cat is so fearful whenever there are fireworks and whenever there's a storm. She's really afraid of animals. And my mom cows on her side. And this really breaks my heart. The babies separated, oh, my internet connection is a little, the babies are separated from the mother. Oh, they're fearful. All the groups together, and it's so sad and heartbreaking.
Yeah, animal has a lot of fears, all the animals. So then anyone has any questions? Last way or is a pass. Everyone have a good.
I have a question.
Yes.
Since humans are technically animals, could it be that humans have the most fear because we have so many afflictive emotions and we're grasping at things all the time and we're always with the monkey mind?
Yes, so human is like human beings. We cannot say animals, but of course sentient beings. So human beings is the sentient beings or mother sentient beings, and six different RAM beings. So human beings also a part of that. So all these six RAM beings has fears, emotions, suffering. So that's why we call samsara. And the human being is like kind of a big transaction. I think it's like intersection. Like you can do good things, you can do bad things. Like very important in life. So human being can create anything. Like you can become Buddhahood, or you can go to like other lower realms. Like human beings can create that. So more powerful, compared to other animals, other beings. Human beings more powerful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
So what celebrations did you look forward to when you were being raised in Tibet?
The
What
celebration?
celebrations? Yeah, celebrations or occasions. Yeah, what did you really look forward to?
Oh, I want a celebration every day. No need to do something like create like crazy. So be always celebrate, always happy, and always recognize precious human body, right? So that's most important, I think. So then we celebration in Tibet, like especially the Buddhists, the teachers like who pass nirvana, so they do something, practicing puja, celebration. So I think that's great too. Not for birth. So some teachers like they pass away, it's not they're going to die, they're going to nirvana. So we have to celebrate for that, free from samsara.
What about the Tibetan dances? The dancing by the monks and so forth. I think those are wonderful. I mean, wasn't that
that's
something?
just that does that, but that's just like sometimes the monks making enjoy themselves, make happy themselves.
Oh.
Yeah.
Isn't there also the New Year celebration, Losar?
Yeah, that does everywhere. Like all is the same. Tibetans also very crazy, more ignorance, celebrate the wrong place.
What about Lama Chopa? When is that done?
Lama Chopa is actually thinking about the guru. Lama Chopa is like actually some people does everyday practice. That is called guru yoga practice, like thinking about the teacher. Yeah.
I like that. I've seen the mystical arts of Tibet do a whole thing on that, where they, do all these different dances and they do the debating and all kinds of things. And I used
Yes.
to have a CD that was called the Lama Chopa that plays music. And it was certain chants that, you know, I would listen to all the time.
I see. Music. Then maybe just someone did music with you know, some who know the music, the tongues, maybe chanting prayers together. I don't know.
Yeah, they're always playing those long horns and
Oh yes.
drums and this chanting.
That's always for ritual things. Yes, people use for ritual things, practicing.
Thank you.
Some is calling the Buddha to come down. Some you blow that, like make bigger songs. You let go all thoughts and emotions, and who create obstacles. We make fear for them. They go away for making obstacles. So the different kind of these ritual symbols. Some is like inviting Buddha, Bodhisattvas, darkness, Yidam deities, and some is like offerings. Some is like let go all the fears, let go these harmful beings, letting go, you know, make them scared too. So all have different kind of the symbols using.
Thank you. So if I want to listen to Lama Chopa anytime, it's okay.
Yes, you can do anytime, 24 hours. Dharma is always, no time is like 24 hours like valuable.
Thank you.
Yes, you can practice. Okay, thank you everyone. So now we go into the then teaching. So everyone did a great job. Thank you. All your tests is pass. 100%. So everyone did a good homework. And now I'm going to share with you the essence of the Mahayana teaching. So essence of Mahayana teaching is sometimes like you read the contents also very good, what the contents talk about. So this one is the talk about introduction section. And then first one is the introduction section. The second is called main body of the teaching. The last is the conclusion. So this follow three different sections. So this whole book is included 3 sections. So we finished the part 1, the introduction section. So now we are in the part 2, the main body of the teaching. So part 2 has the 4 dharma. So we finished that 4 dharma. Then second is abandoning the force of the vessel. We finished that one. The third is the 4 tenets. So now I think we are in the 4 tenets. So we finished that first 2. 4 dharma is we finish. Abandoning the force of the vessel is we finish. That is the talk about 4 thoughts meditation. So now today is the 3rd section. The part 3, the main body, the 3 section, 3rd section. The 3rd section is the 4 tenets. 4 tenets has, first one is refuge. Then that has like refuge first. Refuge also has like 1, 2, 3 ways, like different numbers. So precepts of what to abandon. Second one is the precepts of what to adopt. So refuge has 3 different, 1, 2, or it's 2 different levels. Precepts of what to abandon, precepts of what to adopt. So we're going to go that section today, page 42. So third is like we are just I talked already. Why is it the number 3? You have to know why is it the number 3 there. So that means like this main body has first is 4 dharma. Second is the abandoning the force of vessel. So the third is like the four tenets. So that's why number 3 for the four tenets. Following the format of Jigten Sunggun's text, next is the section on accomplish the nectar essence of the teachings through the four tenets. So this is followed by the four tenets. The number third is followed by four tenets. And then four tenets, the Jigten Sunggun said the first one is a refuge. The first of this is refuge, is root text. Root text is Drochap Lami Tenza Control Som. So that means like being source of refuge, the root of unsurpassable teachings is the Tepijam. So no, this is the four thoughts. Tenet first is refuge, and you know, refuge is like first entering into the Buddhist, like taking the vows. Most important section. So I know you already has take refuge. I think mostly everyone has refuge vows. So when you talk the refuge vows, sometimes when teachers are giving the refuge vows, like schedule is short, time is not enough. So you know that time like teachers maybe not enough to share the teachings. So you have to learn actually what the refuge means. So you already received the, I think, refuge vows. So no, it's good to learn. So what you receive, what you have to, you know, which is like you have, which kind of way, I mean, follow the refuge vow. So Jigten Sunggun first teach here on the general importance of going for refuge in the Tepijam. So Tepijam is like Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. Sometimes we say three givers. The Buddha, Dharma, and the Sangha. So who protect and rescue beings of the six realms from their long endured suffering. Refuge is like actually protect. You know, refuge meaning is protect and rescue like beings. So the same meaning actually. Protect and rescue beings. Who can protect beings? Who can rescue all these sentient beings who are in the samsara? So Buddha, Dharma, Sangha can protect all these six realm beings. So that's the reason here say Buddha, Dharma, and the Sangha who protect and rescue beings of the six realms from the long endured suffering. We are suffering in samsara, not just only this life, many, many lifetimes suffering in samsara. That's the reason we are taking refuge to Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. You know, this taking refuge is not only temporary, taking refuge is permanent actually. I talked this like many times already, like refuge, the word is like kind of not really enough correct. But then protect and rescue beings of the six realms from their long endured suffering. I think that whole word is like very good to like, you know, the explain refuge means. So otherwise like refuge means like some country has problems, take refuge to other country. So we always think kind of that way. So that refuge is really, really temporary. So other country take refuge too, like US, Canada, like that kind of country. So we have a permanent happiness in United States, Canada. No, right? We don't. No one has like permanent happiness in Canada and the US. Like, so today, like here is mostly is from Canada and the US. So that's why I'm talking about US, Canada. So no one has permanent happiness. No one free from suffering. But there, other countries take refuge too. Our country here is only temporary, very temporary. So usually we think refuge means like that kind of thinking is that is like incorrect. So what means refuge means who protect and rescue beings of the six realms from the long endured suffering. So who can help that way is Buddha. Only Buddha can help that way. He can protect and rescue beings of the six realms from the long endured suffering. Refuge is these three jewels forms the rule of entering into the teaching of the unsurpassable and perfectly awakened Buddha. So then take refuge to Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. That is, entering into the teaching of unsurpassed and perfectly awakened Buddha means like first step. So when we take refuge to Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, we are not right away free from suffering. So then what we have to do, we have to entering into the teachings means we have to receive teachings, listening Dharma teaching, contemplate, meditate, then we can free from suffering. So then that is like absolute refuge. We are free from suffering. Sometimes people think, oh, take refuge to Buddha, then we are already free from suffering. Why then people already take refuge? There has a sufferings. So some people can think that way, but that is like misunderstanding, wrong thinking. When we take refuge to Buddha means like first into the entering into the teaching. So then we have to receive teaching, contemplate, meditate, and we have to get rid of the emotions. Like we have to reach in the nirvana, liberate. Then we are free from suffering. So who can help that? Only Buddha, Dharma, Sangha can help that. That's why it's going to talk about refuge. So that's we have to understand. Otherwise, people has misunderstand in this section. Then of course, like someone already take refuge to Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. There of course there has less obscurations, and when get obstacle, someone like obstacle beings humming to them, and then they think about the Buddha and chant their refuge prayers. So that also become protect, temporarily protect. Absolute protect is we have to receive teaching, contemplate, meditate. So then we get absolute truth protection. Then there, of course, they also have some relatively and temporary protection too. When you take refuge, there has many stories. So the story is like last, I think 2-3 months ago, I shared the Tara's teaching, and someone chant the Tara prayers, thinking about calling the Tara, and then there, free from the fears. Like the Tara has like 8 different fears, like 8 different protections, like 8 fears release. So that kind of protection is like temporary and relatively. Also, who take refuge to Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. So release the temporary obstacles. But then this is like not talking about the temporary removal obstacles. This is talking about absolute truth. So when we are into the Buddha, take refuge to Buddha, then we have to study, listening, contemplate, meditate. So That's the reason first entering to Buddhist is the taking refuge. The answer person able and perfectly waking Buddha. So taking refuge is like first vowel, and then you can receive. It's coming here is like different kind of Vinayana vowels, and then Bodhisattva vowels, Vajrayana vowels. So they all is based on the refuge vowels. Without refuge vowels, you cannot receive Vinayana vowels. You cannot receive Bodhisattva vowels. You cannot receive Vajrayana vowels. So that's the reason this refuge is like refuge vowels, the first digit, and same is the ground, or same is the earth. So that's the reason most important vowel. Then Jigten Sumgung further elaborates on the meaning and quality of the givers of refuge. So then more explain refuge, the everlasting refuge, precious giver treasure, granting of protection. So Tibetan is a tak jam ne jom ze rinchinter. So that's translation to the everlasting refuge, means like absolute refuge. So precious jewel, treasure, grantor of protection. So that is like grantor of protection is like absolute truth protection, not just temporary protection. The why is this is the absolute truth protection. So now it's going into the commentary. The beings who go for refuge with a mind of renunciation of samsara. So we're going to take refuge vowels, what we need. The person, what person need. Person need renunciation. So that's the key. Without renunciation, you cannot receive refuge vowel, you cannot receive the Vinayana vowels. So that's the reason, renunciation. So then this also has some debating, because some people, when you take the refuge vowel and Vinayana vowel, no renounce. So then they slowly get renunciate. So then what happens vowels? Some says, when you receive this vowel, refuge vowel and Vinayana vowel, you don't have renunciation. You think you receive vowels, but not really get perfect vowels, but slowly you get renunciation, then your vowels become perfect. So some teachers said that, but that I think is correct. Like we follow that way. Otherwise, we don't know we have refuge vowel. We don't know we have Vinayana vowels. So you wanted to your refuge vowels become pure. So when you get renunciation, then your refuge vowels become pure and correct. You really received. So the reason is a thing about why we're taking refuge. We're taking refuge. We recognize these 6 realms from the longing, endure, suffering. So that's the reason we wanted to protect and rescue from that, something protect from that suffering. So you really see the samsara as a suffering and looking some protection. So then take refuge to Buddha. So recognize samsara is a suffering. So that is a renunciation. So we wanted to free from that. That is a renunciation. So without that, you really cannot take refuge vowels. Think about, you taking refuge vowel means like you looking something protect. Why you looking something protect? Because we see problem. We don't want that problem. we want to get protection, rescue. So that is the renunciation. That's why we taking refuge. And this time, somebody take refuge vows. They say, "Oh, I want to also take refuge vows." So they just get vows like followed by rituals, and you really get refuge vows. You get refuge vows name. You just refuge. You think you get refuge vows, but not really correctly pure refuge vows. I don't think so. Most people. So who has practiced forethought meditation? Then that person take refuge vow. That person have correctly 100% refuge vow receiving, because there's renunciation. Make sense or no? See, think about it. We think we're doing something correctly, practice the Dharma, but sometimes not really correctly doing. So if we don't doing really correctly, that really benefit us or not? Think about it. If not really correctly doing, not much benefit, right? Then that means like you cannot give up. Just whatever you can do, you do that slowly. Slowly you can get correct. So that's the reason when you wanted to take refuge vows, that is great. So maybe you have a devotion. So refuge vow is like need two things: devotion and renunciation. Devotion take you to the, putting you to the taking refuge. Renunciation, you really receive correctly vows. So one day you get good renunciation, samsara, then your refuge vows correct, pure. Until that, you have refuge vow, but that is kind of name, not still correct. So when your refuge vow is pure and correctly, when you get renunciation to samsara, how you get renunciation samsara? Because practice forethought meditation. So that's why it's forethought is before the refuge vows here. So this is like lamrim text, means like take you to step by step what you have to do. This is followed by step by step. So first we looking teacher, receive teaching, and then practice like forethought. Then forethought you get renunciation, take the refuge vow. And with trust and faith in the automatic sublime and everlasting source of refuge. So then you have renunciation of samsara, and then with trust and faith. Trust to Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, and strong devotion to Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. Recognize only Buddha can help us. Faith and so automatic sublime. And so why we have to take this refuge to Buddha, Dharma, Sangha? The sublime and our lasting source of refuge. This permanent refuge is only come from Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, will be securely protected and shared from harm and danger caused by human and non-humans, as well as from the suffering of lower realms. So take refuge to Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. If we have renunciation, we have trust and faith, and then take refuge to Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, then Buddha, Dharma, Sangha is protected, secured and protect us, and share from harm and danger caused by humans and non-humans, as well as from the suffering of lower realms, of course free from lower realms. The Buddha is already free from the suffering of samsara. So now then we have to know why we have to take refuge to Buddha, because Buddha is already free from the suffering of samsara, and is thus equipped, I think, with the wisdom and ability to liberate others. So Buddha has method, or Buddha he has all these qualities to liberate, can help for other beings. Equipped means like he has qualities, he can help us. He has all this ability with wisdom and ability to liberate others. So other beings, he can help for other beings. No one can protect us. Only Buddha can protect us. The reason is because Buddha is already free from suffering of samsara. He has compassion and wisdom. That's the reason he can help for us. He has the ability, can help for other beings. It is unconditional. Okay, so then, moreover, the Buddha's vast and all-encompassing compassion is unbiased. The Buddha's vast and encompassing and compassion is unbiased, equally pervasive toward all beings. So his wisdom and Buddha's compassion. So these two qualities is no bias and all sentient beings equally. So that's why Buddha is the like, we take refuge to Buddha is like unmistaken. Buddha is only can help for beings, towards all beings. So that is like two big qualities Buddha has. It is unconditional and not dependent on beings blessed by sentient beings. Buddha is said to be the purest, everlasting refuge because the awakening one never wavers from that state of awakening. So Buddha, he already free from samsara, and he knows how to liberate other beings. He has compassion, he has wisdom, all these qualities. So he already waking. One never wavers from that state of awakening. The three jewels are compared to a wish fulfilling lapus lazuli jewel that fulfills all of beings' desires and needs. So I don't know, the lapis lazuli is like very important right now. So this is a really old ancient example. So maybe something different, lapis lazuli. So this is a precious jewel. So anyway, precious jewel. Something precious jewel is like fulfill all of beings' desires and needs. So this is an ancient example. Long time ago in India, they talk about the lapis lazuli. This jewel is can fulfill of all beings' desire. People, some kings get this jewel. So then they pray for that, and the people get food, so free from the hunger, thirsty. They create like that. That kind of example. So anyway, Buddha is the same as like lapis lazuli jewel. So what lapis lazuli helps fulfill all of beings' desire and needs. The people what they desire, food and drink, clothes. So that time. So this lapis lazuli jewel helps for that. And know what people need protection because we are suffering in samsara. And this 6 realms is from the long endured suffering. So that's the reason we're looking something protection. Only Buddha can protect us. Buddha can rescue our beings. So that's the reason Buddha the same is the this giver that fulfill of beings' desire and need. In identifying the different levels or classifications of refuge, the root text explains. So then here talk about different kind of levels refuge. So reason is followed by different capacities. We all call Buddhist has Hinayana, Mahayana, Vajrayana, 3 yanas, and they also take refuge is like little bit different ways. You know, most important. So that's the reason is different levels or classifications of refuge. The root text explains. 3 yanas are revealed within the authentic vows. So root text says tikpa sumti drupza dompancho. So that means 3 yanas are revealed within the authentic vows. 3 yanas or wakers have been taught by Buddha. So this 3 yana teachings all come from Buddha. He taught. The path to realize the state of Shavaka or Pakchika Buddhas. So this is another path. The path to realize the state of a Bodhisattva and the path to perfect Buddhahood. And in accord with these 3 levels of lesser, middling, and supreme. So here is a talk about 3 different levels. Actually, this 3 is Hinayana, Mahayana, Vajrayana. So here is like just talking about the result, like Shavakas, Pakchika Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Buddhas. So the main point is like Hinayana and practice results Shavaka and Pakchika Buddha. Mahayana, the practice Bodhisattvas arise. Vajrayana practice Buddha is arise, the kind of a result. And the main point is like here is 3 yanas like Hinayana, Mahayana, Vajrayana. So this 3 yana is according with the 3 levels of lesser is followed by Vinayana, middle is Mahayana, and the supreme is Vajrayana. So they are temporary source of refuge. They all has a temporary ways taking refuge too. Source. So now here and all is followed by individual level. So you cannot think about Hinayana, Mahayana, Vajrayana is pointing the culture and the country and followed by tradition. You cannot follow like that way. So this is a refer to actually I already shared last time. It's like individual level. So followed by person's level, individual capacity. That's why it's like very good to understand. Not pointing for the some individual tradition, So if you pointing to individual tradition, then we pointing finger each other. So that is incorrect. Usually we follow by laws, outer level, not followed by inner essence of the Dharma and the teaching. So followed by words, followed by outer, and then pointing finger each other. So that is incorrect. And here is like talking about lesser, middling, and supreme means like followed by our individual level. So lesser means like when we only wanting liberate, I want to free from suffering. I'm suffering. I don't want suffering. I want to liberate. We have so strong fears. So that time we are lesser waker. And so when you practice that way and get free from samsara, is the result is Shavaka and Pachika Buddha. So then middle lane is like, oh, we are suffering. I don't want the suffering. Oh, so other beings also suffering. They're also suffering. These beings also actually used to my parents. I wish them have a happy. I wish them free from suffering, and I wanted to free from suffering. So you have like compassion with love for others, and also you seeking Buddhahood. So that is the middle lane. And then supreme is like, you know, when we practice meditate based on the you know, bodhicitta, and then recognize all this impure is recognized, like visualize the pure, create the pure perception. So all these beings like Buddha and all this, the place is like pure lane. We create a pure perception, you know, release like impure perception, release, purify our ordinary perception. So create the pure perception. So that is the core supreme practice. Like supreme is usually taught about Vajrayana. So that is we have to follow by our ability. And sometimes like you can be lesser, sometimes you can be middling, sometimes you can be supreme, you know. That's also always a change, you know. Sometimes you have really fears. I want to liberate. You don't want the suffering. So you're thinking about strong liberation due to your suffering. So that time is like lesser. Middling is like your more open mind. This all beings also suffering. I'm also suffering. I want the Buddhahood. Also, I try to help them. It's middling. And then sometimes you practice yadam deity, meditate, visualize all these beings, Buddha, all these places pure lane. So that kind, you know, like using some special method, that time is you are supreme. Okay, so that we have to follow. They are temporary source of refuge. However, the single, final, and automatic source of refuge is the Buddha as Dharmakaya, beyond all conceptual minds projections. So then we take refuge. Actually, highest level refuge is the Buddha. Refuge to the Buddha is the highest level. So why is the highest level refuge to Buddha? Because it's a Dharmakaya. Actually, Dharmakaya is like means all beings recognize Buddha. So we recognize we have a Buddha nature, and we recognize we are Buddha. So then that is realize our own Dharmakaya, realize our own nature. So that is absolute truth refuge, the highest level protection. And then here says like temporary source of refuge. There also has a temporary refuge source. We are regular beings. Then we take refuge to Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. So that's also a temporary source of refuge too. And relative truth refuge and absolute truth refuge. The two follows, two different levels of refuge. So now, when we take refuge vowels, that refuge vowel is a temporary source of refuge. When you want to get that vowel, you need renunciation and faith devotion. So then you receive this temporary source of refuge vowels. So long as you have that refuge vowel, and then that is become, you are into the Buddha, you are under the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha's protection. So then you're ready into the practice of Dharma. So that is the first step. And then this first take refuge to Buddha, Dharma, Sangha is recognize the difference, a little bit different ways. When we are regular beings, so we are lesser level. So here is 3 levels of lesser, means we are level of the lesser. First beginner, that time Buddha is most important. Take refuge to Buddha is absolute truth, the highest level taking refuge. Without Buddha, so we cannot do anything. So the rely on Buddha, everything rely on Buddha. So we are level of lesser, that time Buddha is highest level taking refuge. So then we are level of middle lane, that time is Dharma is most important. So we are the level of supreme, that time then Sangha is most important. So these 3 jewels also in the teachings talk about a little bit different ways. Which one is most important, you know? Sometimes there's a Buddha is important, sometimes there's a Dharma is important, sometimes there's a Sangha is most important. So which is most important is followed by our level. Why is Buddha is important? Because at that time we are level of lesser. So we have to take refuge to Buddha, and we have to the Buddha, because rely on Buddha, teacher, rely on the teacher and the Buddha. And when we are the middle lane, that time we rely on Dharma, means we know how to teach the practice Dharma. So that's why rely on Dharma. The level of the spring is rely on Sangha, means like then, you know, the Sangha is most important, and you are actually, Sangha hold these 3 jewels. So Sangha means us and high level practitioners. So then that practitioner, whereas they are, there has Dharma, there has Buddha. So that's the reason Sangha is most important. Like that is followed by our practice level. So I have to share lots about there, but we, you know, that's I think is enough tonight. I don't know you understand what I'm talking about. Actually, you really think about, like, you know, when beginner, of course, teacher is important. So someone needed to show right path, and Buddha is important. That's the reason. Dharma is come from Buddha, and all this Sangha is follow the Buddha, and we need someone lead us, take to the Nirvana. So Buddha is most important. So then one day you practice and you have teaching received, you have to practice. That time is Dharma is most important, because Dharma is introduced to our emotions. Dharma is the same as become medicine. So then Sangha is most important, means like then you know rely on Buddha Dharma, kind of like you know, like you are Buddha, you know, so you are you know that you practice Dharma, you know that you are Sangha. So then all these 3 is hold the Sangha hold. So that's the reason Sangha is most important. So then is the Buddha's as Dharmakaya. So here is the Dharmakaya is like absolute truth refuge. We recognize our own natural mind. We realize we are Buddha. So that is the absolute truth refuge beyond all conceptual mind projections. For the actual Saramane itself of taking refuge. So then when we take refuge, this is talking about the relative truth refuge. We need Saramane itself of taking refuge. The student needs to fear renunciation of samsara and longing to attain the unsurpassable state of Buddhahood. So that is come from the who taking refuge. In the presence of the precious jewel of refuge, the Lama then what have to do? Arrange the offering, torma, and formally taking the vows of refuge. So then Lama also have to create the ritual things. The torma means just what they need ritual things, or the ritual what they says have to follow that. Sometimes they create a torma offering to, you know, like get rid of obstacles. then create accumulation like offering to Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. So the mean pound torma means it's like offerings. Torma and formally taking the vow of refuge. So then once we have taken refuge, they are perceived that we must adhere the two. I don't know, adhere or adhere the two. What is it, Mary? I
Adhere.
cannot hear.
It
What
means
is
stick to. It means adhere. It's like glue.
adhere? I see. Adhere. Mm.
Temple, I have a question.
Yes.
I recognize the importance of Sangha, and in a monastery environment, you would have many monks, to who you can, talk to and collaborate and, of course, discuss the different ideas. But in for example, where we live, everybody is very isolated. Although right now we're all on Zoom, thanks to the pandemic, but usually we hardly see each other. And it's also just the way our lifestyle is. Everybody's really busy. We have to work during the day, and when we get home, we have family to take care of. So it's extremely hard to get a good group of Sangha together on a regular basis.
Yes.
So how, what would you suggest in terms of, how to overcome such a challenge? Just because, our lifestyle and the environment is just not the same.
Yes. So that's a good question, very important. Actually, I talked before lots about that part too. So most important is, we have the gathering together. And that's the reason we have Dharma centers and support each other, come to in the center. And especially who has more teachings, practicing that, just come and help for, beginners, showing the pride and help for them, So that is very important. Sometimes like people who receive more teaching, practicing, then they think, oh, I don't need a Dharma center. I don't need to go to center. I know how to practice Dharma. So that is become big obstacle in the Western country here. So that is the actually pride. That is called obstacle. And actually, we think we know Dharma. Actually, we don't know Dharma really. We think we are practitioner. We are not really practitioner. So practitioner means like really can control the emotions, not really emotions. So you have to see yourself. Then we are practitioner. Then that we get that level. Then they recognize the Dharma center is important. The Sangha is important. They don't say, "Oh, I'm not practice. I don't have to go to center. I'm do myself at home." So they don't say that if they're really practitioner. They don't think that is like correct. So really the understand Dharma that come to center and support each other. Think about Garchen Rinpoche. So he created Dharma centers. So why he created Dharma centers? Because like 4 people, 10 people, 20 people, whichever that comes together, join together, it's like kind of create a Sangha. Long as a Sangha is there, is Dharma is there, Buddha is there. So without the Sangha, then really no Dharma, no Buddha there, And so he knows that it's like, that's reason he do hardships, difficulties. Dharma center taking care is not easy, but try to create the Dharma center. So, is support each other. So that's we have to recognize, and we recognize his kindness and other teachers too who create the Dharma Center, and then just support, whatever we can. So that is like our offering and our practice. Sometimes we think we practice is like, something we're doing something different, something is practice, but actually good practice offering is you come to Dharma Center, that is your body offering too already there. Then you have for each other is like your mind, speech is, offering is there. And we talk about the 7 branch prayer. 7 branches like actually create accumulation merit, purify our karma obscurations. So actually you come to Dharma Center, support each other. Actually 7 branch practices all is in there. So that's, we have to understand, and especially more senior Sangha really, go to Dharma Center, show example for beginners and help them. So that's, I think is most important. And I know that we don't have much time. So when you have time, just make time, like go to like one week, at least one day to show up there. So that is the, big generosity. I think it's great to have for each other. And we does like that. Then of course, like for beginners also for example for that. And then we give example for them. So there we show for them like what they have to do. And then create that becomes strong and strong Sangha. And then more Sangha is there. So Buddha Dharma is can benefit others. So no, our problem is like our older Sanghas, like, of course they all has good, but they don't really show the good example for beginners, some levels. So many has their problems. So I'm saying it's just directly, no pointing for individually. So that's I understand. I don't know I'm wrong or not. So I thought is what I thought I shared there.
Okay.
Make sense or no?
No, it does make sense, but I have then a follow-up question, and that is a Dharma is a very Dharma study is a very individual study. So you could be on one level and somebody else could be on another level, right? Or you're practicing different things. Right? For example, one could be
Yes.
focusing more on meditation. Another person could be, studying, the Four Noble Truth, so they might not be
Yes.
studying the same thing at the same time.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
So,
Yeah.
so
I know
even,
that's your.
go ahead, please.
Yes. Go ahead. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry about interrupted you.
So even if you come together as a Sangha, if people are not practicing the same thing, one is that, for example, if the Dharma Center right now, let's say today is Tuesday, therefore we're practicing Medicine Buddha. And for those who are not practicing Medicine Buddha or have already done it, they probably are not going to show up, right? So then you really don't have, again, like you don't really have that group of people who are in a consistent path with you along the way, right? It's almost like, going from kindergarten to university, right? Like, the curriculum is the same. If everybody goes through that steps all at the same time, then it's okay. But not with Dharma, because you can go in different direction.
Yes. Okay, so that's also, yes, like another problem. People think that reason I think I don't have to go because in the Dharma Center, my practice is generally like the Dharma Center does medicine Buddha. So that's it's misunderstood too. They don't really understand the essence of the Yidam deity. So you really know the essence of a Yidam deity. You really know the essence of Dharma is the same. No much, nothing different. Like medicine, Buddha, Chinrezig, Tara is like, it's all essence is the same. So whatever you do, the Chinrezig, you just, some people does Chinrezig, you want to medicine Buddha, like just think about the Chinrezig is a medicine Buddha. So here's a medicine Buddha. So then someone, like we do the medicine Buddha in Dharma Center, someone only want the Chinrezig, so then think medicine Buddha is a Chinrezig. So Chinrezig is a compassion, embodiment of compassion. So medicine Buddha is also compassion. He has compassion. That's why he helping all beings who has illness and sufferings. Okay, and who want to practice Chinrezig, then they think some okay in Dhamma Center practice Chinrezig, they think, oh, I want a medicine Buddha. So Chinrezig is a medicine Buddha because Chinrezig has compassion. Compassion helps helping for release all the suffering from suffering all these lower end beings. That's a Chinrezig job that Chinrezig does. So he release all suffering other beings, and there's a medicine Buddha. So that's where we have to understand. And the Dharma Center also, we provide like more generally suit for everyone practice one Yidam deity, and then Dharma, meditations like programs. So that helps for everyone. And then senior practitioners, sanghas have to understand that, and don't think, oh, my practice is something special in this practice, So that if you think that is incorrect, misunderstand, and become that is create obstacle. So yeah, so that's where you have to understand. Make sense or no?
Yes.
That's
okay.
your question?
Yes. So I think what you're saying is no matter what practice the Dharma Center is doing, they are all interconnected.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
You're
I'd
welcome.
like to say something if possible.
Okay, thanks. Coming, please come.
I think this group here is a very strong group. What we have here that I haven't experienced at a lot of centers, and I've been to many, is we have the opportunity to ask questions, and listening to people asking the questions and getting answers. It generates more understanding for me, and it creates motivation to even study more. So this is something I'm saying, gee, how come we didn't do that before? How come I didn't experience this there or whatever? We have it here. We're able to ask the questions and get answers and be able to say what we feel like saying. I think it's really valuable. That's all I wanted to say.
Oh, thank you.
Can I
Yeah,
ask a question?
Yes.
Why do some gurus take out a piece of your hair when you take refuge?
So that means like your body is belong to Buddha, no more belong to you.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay. So any like you fears, like you get fears, you think my body is belong to Buddha. No longer I am self. So think that is you can release your fears, let go self grasping.
Thank you.
So when you get pride and jealousy for others, think about my body is belong to Buddha. No I am. I don't have pride, I don't have jealousy, no I there. So let go emotions. It's another method. That's thanks very much. Ask question.
Thank you.
I thought that temple, because when I was taking refuge, Gachin Rinpoche cut the hair,
Yeah.
and I heard people said that since you take refuge and then your guru take your hair, means you will be always follow him and he will always protect you and he will always have you in with him. And so it makes me really happy, like I'm protected by my guru.
Yes, that's good.
So I didn't know that it's my body don't belong to me anymore and belong to the Buddha. I had never heard that.
Mine too.
I heard it. Gachin Rinpoche is going to protect us because we take refuge and he's keeping our head. So every day when he meditates, we are with him. And that made me very happy, you know?
Yes, so you protect, yes, that's great. Like protect is like follow the Dharma. So we already talked like here, when you take refuge, so then the Buddha Dharma Sangha who protect and rescue beings of the six realms from their indoor suffering. So then refuge in these three jivas forms the root of entering into the teachings of the unsurpassable and perfectly waking Buddha. Main point is like when you take refuge, you have to follow the Dharma. Then you get protection. Some people take refuge and no follow the Dharma, then it's then don't get protections.
Okay.
Okay.
I think at the time of taking refuge with Guardian Rinpoche, he also put the hair in one of the bag, and he said that he takes the bag with him everywhere he goes, so that whenever he's doing any blessing or doing any rituals, we will be there with him.
Okay. So yeah, that's you have to ask Gachin Rinpoche questions.
But I felt that if that's the case, hundreds of thousands people take refuge with him, so he must have really, really, really big bag of hair. That's a lot, too much.
Too much carry for him. I know he has so much luggage. Usually he don't change it. His clothes is only just always the same, no change, but no need anything. But he has a big suitcase. I think it's all his hairs.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm kidding. So no, the essence of refuge okay, so yeah, percepts the benefits, how they get broken and how to obtain them is shown. The Tibetan root text is Labze, Nimpo, Penyun, Tontoptin. So it's come from Jiktin Sumgo root text. The refuge precepts form the root or essence of the three vows. First, regarding the precepts of abstaining. So here is the refuge precept form the root or essence of the three vows. Means the three vows is Vinayana vow and Bodhisattva's vow, Vajrayana's vows. So these three vows best on is refuge vows. So that's the reason refuge precept form the root or essence of the three vows. First, regarding the precepts of abstaining, so then what we take refuge vows. So which one we have to follow, which kind we have to abandon. So we have to know that. Once we taking refuge in the Buddha, we must abstain from taking refuge and prostrating to worldly gods such as Shiva and the like. If this is the case with the powerful worldly gods, it goes without saying that we must also abstain from bowing, therefore, each spirit or local protector beings. So we take refuge to Buddha, we cannot take refuge to another like kind of Shiva and the local gods, means like who don't have enlightening qualities. Who don't have enlightening qualities, we take refuge is wrong. So this taking refuge is like who has enlightening quality, we have to take refuge. So that's why it's take refuge to Buddha, then we don't have to follow the local god or other some spirits. The ones we taking refuge in the Salam Dharma, please mute someone, no mute. Once we have taken refuge in the Salam Dharma, we must free from a mental state of melancholiness and error towards others, and we must abstain from harming or hurting other sentient beings. So take refuge in Dharma, then we cannot harm for other beings. We have to stop harming for other beings. So no harming for other beings. That is the refuge to Dharma's, precept. Because Dharma is non-violence. Dharma is peace. So if you do something against that, is violence and harming for others. So that is become directly against Dharma. Then Buddha is like awakening qualities. So we taking refuge awakening quality. Who don't have awakening quality take refuge is that take refuge to that is against awakening qualities. So we have to know that. Then the Dharma is the nature of peace and non-violence. So Dharma is like nature is peace and non-violence. So when we go for refuge in the Dharma, we should try to imbue these qualities. Once we have taken refuge in the jiva of Sangha, we should abstain from keeping company with those who have the wrong view of the Dharma and who act in a way that is contradictory to the Dharma. So someone against the Dharma, someone harming for other beings. So we take refuge in Sangha, we cannot be company our keeping company for that kind of person. Do not keep close friendship with such individuals, no matter how pleasantly they may present themselves on the outside. So it's hard, sometimes difficult in worldly and kind of lay people, because some against Dharma, some people like really harmful other, like think about someone put these chickens in the cage, someone make very hard for cows, and someone go to fishing fish, and so we cannot say like, oh, I don't want to friend with you, right? It's hard to make kind of like that kind of people, and we are against for that kind of people. So maybe you already have some people like that kind of your friend. So what is most important here, you have to know, you cannot influence by that kind of people, So you, of course, you have to can talk with them. You just keep your just some part of friendship, but then not really influenced by you, influenced by their view. So you really have to understand that this person going to take me to a wrong view, that directions. So you have to keep a boundary for that level. And so of course you can like drink tea together and you have to talk together. Same time you must have to have some level your follow your view and stay your strong your path. So whatever that does, that kind of people does. So say, okay, so it's your doing that way. I am not going to do that kind. Like just stay your view, your percept, keep your percept. Make sense or no? Yeah, sometimes it's hard for like in the Western country because like even same family, friends, community, many has like kind of a jobs and doing things, harming for others. But they're close, friendly with you, and when you talk together, they are good people, nice. But some level they're ignorant. They don't understand like correct view, and then harming for others. Like they don't really recognize is wrong. So they put the chickens in the cage, harming them, and the cows put in the like somewhere, and like they take to the slide or like killing, or go to the killing the fish and get the fishings. So that kind of they don't recognize they're doing bad things. But your job is, long as you take refuge to Dharma, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, you recognize these people doing that. So no influence by that. You kept boundary for that level. So you can talk with them, okay? Like say, okay, hi, hello, like sometimes have over tea together. That's I think is no problem. So just you recognize you're not influenced by that kind of people. If you follow that influence by that people, then your quality is going to decreasing very fast. You're going to lose devotion to Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. You're going to lose your renunciation, and then naturally you're going to decreasing like your wisdom and compassion. So that you have to know, recognize. Then percepts of what to adopt. I don't know, time is already gone, sorry about. Actually, I wanted to get in the Pakimoksha Vavas level, so I'm going to read this fast. Percepts of what to adopt. Second, the percepts of where is okay, so once we have taken, I see exactly Dharma, close friendship, present themselves in the outside. So percepts of the what to adopt. Second, the percepts of what adopt or practicing. So that's no root takes there. Wherever we see any representative of a Buddha's form, we should not judge whether it is good or bad in quality or in its appearance. Don't think about appearance. Like whatever the Buddha's, statue is like made by wood, made by, earth, or made by stone, or made by copper, made by gold or silver, whatever, quality, appearance. We should avoid treating any Buddha image or representation that we encounter with disrespect and generate faith. So whatever this quality, we have to respect. Just is like recognize Buddha, even your piece of paper, like image of the Buddha, recognize is Buddha. Doesn't matter it's picture or statue or valued or recognize same. We should never criticize. So that is like percept of we take refuge to Buddha. We should never criticize the pure Dharma. Also, we should not follow views that are contrary to the Dharma. So we should never criticize pure Dharma, is to follow the Dharma, no criticize Dharma. Also, we should not follow views that are contrary to the Dharma, no contradiction. Is not followed by the negative friend. Do not show disrespect to any teacher, any spiritual friend who teach the authentic Buddha Dharma, and never criticize or speak badly of such a teacher. Instead, show respect to the Dharma and the Dharma teachers. So that is help for the actually practitioners. This respect is actually, we think is like respect help for teacher, but the main point actually is really help for us, purify our karma and increasing our qualities. So that's we have to recognize. These are countless benefits of taking refuge in the three jewels, such as forming the rule of the three vows and burning up the negativity of samsara. So we take refuge to three jewels has lots of qualities. The main quality is all these other vows is based on this refuge vows. Without a refuge vow, other vows cannot received. That's the reason. This is the root of the three vows. And then when you take the refuge vow, is burning up the negative of samsara. So all purifying karma, and we are ready to become Buddha. Early at the time we receive the refuge vows, we have awakened in our mind streams, in understanding of death and impermanence, and we believe in karma, the law of cause and effect. We see the defect of samsara, and we long for freedom from suffering for ourselves and all sentient beings. So taking refuge is who take refuge, really understanding these four thoughts. That's the reason taking refuge, and this all dharma is qualities come from this understanding, practice four thoughts meditation. This is how we obtain the vows of refuge when we go to the three jewels for refuge. How do we long for our refuge vows? They are broken when we have a wrong view of the laws of karma and the three jewels, or we stop believe in them. So we can be lost refuge vows. They are broken when we have a wrong view of the law of karma and the three jewels. So you get a wrong view, no follow the cause and the effect. You think karma cause and the effect is wrong, then lost refuge vow, and lost devotion to Buddha Dharma, and lost refuge vows. Or we stop believe in them, yeah. So then lost refuge vow. We lost our refuge vows, then we broken our refuge precepts, or when we let a whole day in the next pass. So whole day and 24-hour gone, then refuge vow is gone. So when you got wrong view, lose devotion, not right away, refuge vow is gone. Takes like 24 hours, then refuge vow is gone. Without taking refuge in the so then before 24 hours, you can chant prayer again, refuge vows, like we have the prayer or do that prayer again and receive again. Without taking refuge in the three jewels and without taking at all about the three jewels. So when you lose this refuge vows, you have to receive again, especially before 24 hours. If you lose 24 hours, then you can take again from the teacher. That's also great to do. So then if not teacher, that you can take refuge vows, receive again, already you have refuge vow, you fear you broken refuge vow, and then go to Buddha's statues, images, specials, receive again. so you can receive again from the teacher. So that's where you have to maintain again. Okay, so that's the today refuge teaching. I thought this refuge is very short, easy, but it's hardest one. Sorry about that. Any questions or no?
Campbell, I have a question.
Yes.
How about if I don't know I lost my refugee vow? If I don't know whether I lost it or I don't realize I lost it, what can I do?
Then just you chant the refuge vowels. That's it's become renowned again.
So, but if
Reset
I
again.
already passed 24 hours,
Yeah, you have to you know, like chant again refuge vow prayer. We does every morning.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So every day we renew our vow, actually.
Yes.
Yeah, I take refuge to the Buddha, I take refuge to this Dharma, so every day we renew our vow. So we don't have to worry we lost it. Do we?
That's I don't know. It's depend on the individual. So maybe
Okay.
you couldn't lose, but you just think about like I have a refuge vow. So then that's also like become bring, you know, like any something going to your refuge vow is like dying or like going to losing, and like think about, oh, I have a refuge vow. So that's also bring back again.
Okay. Okay.
Flowers die, so you put water, say like that, you know, oh, I have refuge vows. You think that is bring back again.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Question.
You're welcome.
What if there's some extenuating circumstance, like maybe you're in a hospital and you're critically ill and you can't do that?
So it's okay. Then, you know, you just think I have refuge vows, then that's enough. You cannot do anything. So think about the Buddha, you know, that's it. Then also when you get a hospital, actually good thing about this three jivas. Buddha is the same as a doctor. Dharma is the same as a medicine. Who have you in the hospital, they are same as the Sangha. So you really appreciate the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. Yes, Mata.
So we've heard about the 5 lay vows.
What is, you say again?
The killing, the no killing, no alcohol, no sexual misconduct. The 5 lay vows are part of refuge vows.
No.
The most important is like just right now what here says, you have to keep that, you know. What means like no harming for other beings. So then that is the big, you know, then you see what you're doing is really harm for others or not. Yeah. So whatever you're doing is like, okay, it's really harming for others or not. Some is like the vows is specific for monks and the nuns, like refuge vows, not exactly like that way, you know. And so most important is you recognize harming for others or not. Then you think, oh, I'm taking refuge to like this spirit or not, you know. So then you really have to recognize I'm really followed by, influenced by this negative people. So keep this theory, then your vow is there. So don't follow the branches, laws, and not necessary.
Okay, thank you.
Means like, of course, some part is necessary, but it's right now, we can keep that part, you know.
Who is there?
We can like follow the most important that section.
Kempo? May I ask a question, Kempo? I think Kempo's frozen.
Yeah, I think he's frozen, Curtis. He'll be back in a minute.
I'll just say this. I'll ask him, but at the Vietnamese temple I've been to, you can take which ones of the 5 vows you want. Sometimes people don't take a vow for the alcohol, for example.
Yeah. It's like,
Or you can, it's always about what your intention is. People say things like that, you know, when you're taking a samaya for an empowerment too.
Yes, I'd like to know who can do the one that says no lying.
What is?
We were just discussing my question while you came back on. The Vietnamese temple I've been to down in Norfolk, Virginia, sometimes they let people take as many of the 5 vows as they want. Usually the one they don't take is the one of alcohol, but is that practiced at all in Tibetan Buddhism?
I didn't hear it. What are you talking?
Can
you say
when people take the 5 vows, I've been to a Vietnamese temple where they will allow you to take perhaps 4 vows, and sometimes people won't take the vow for alcohol. Is that something that's practiced at all in Tibetan Buddhist practice? Taking some vows but not all?
I cannot put all Tibet, you know, like Tibet is like so many practitioners, different kind of people. So not only one person there. So everyone has a little bit different ways taking, you know, care the vows. And so I just told like main point is don't create so much difficulty. Can't do this, cannot do that. Main important is no harming for other beings. So you have to recognize what you're doing is harming for your family, harming for yourself, harming for others. Then that's you have to recognize alcohol, drink, harming yourself, harming your family, harming other people, then don't drink. So if you know harming that, then that is just already there, you know, no harming for other beings.
I like that answer a lot. Thank you.
So Buddhist people sometimes make people fear, create more difficulties. So that is really, you know, sometimes misunderstand. We always give very simple answer for other people, okay? Don't create bigger, complicated things. So some people does something, they say, oh, he don't know doing that, oh, you cannot do that, oh, Buddhist always vegetarian, you cannot eat, oh, Buddhist is always like no harming for others, like you cannot do this. So many things that make rules, make fear for people. So many people cannot do that. Whatever they can do, you know, like you recognize, and just me important is like take refuge, no harming for other beings. So then that is a really great thing about. So no harming for other beings, like you just no harming directly, you know, like killing for other beings. And so something you using, eating, you're doing, your actions harm for others, then don't do that. No harm for others, then that is okay.
Sorry, Kempo, when you say harming, again, did you say it was more physical harming?
So that's harming is like just you saying like really harsh words. Even you not hit them physically, but that really harm for others.
You mean like mental and physical?
Yeah, you like kind of like words become so harsh and bad words, so disturbing some other minds, like create problems for others. So that is like big problem, more than like, you know, physical harms, right?
So if somebody says harmful words to us, do
So
we
humming is
take
like
it?
body, speech, mind, or is followed by body, speech, mind. Humming for other means like followed by body, speech, mind.
Nah, so to the channel.
Hello?
Can I ask a question?
Yes. Yes.
I have a question about the precepts on what to adopt. Don't show disrespect to any teacher or spiritual friend who teaches the authentic Buddha Dharma, and never
Yes.
criticize or speak badly of such a teacher. My question is, for many of us, I think sometimes we don't know if the teacher is teaching authentic Buddha Dharma. And this can create much confusion with people because there's so many Dharma teachers. And sometimes some Dharma teachers, we don't know if they're teaching authentic Dharma or not. So what is the meaning here of authentic Buddha Dharma, especially because many of our spiritual friends might not be perfect teachers, you know, or teach true Dharma, but are trying their best. So what's your thoughts on that?
So yeah, that is like, it's right now in the Western culture, people follow, it's a little bit harder. Used to, in the traditional Tibet, is easy. So, you know, we know the, okay, he's the teacher, we just very small place, you know, everyone knows each other and everyone knows, you know, lamas, and they receive teaching. And so easy, so then not so many like teachers coming from different places, you know. You should always stick there one just monastery and or, you know, one village area, the teachers. So easy. And then sometimes we heard some very special teacher, we go to there and receive teaching. So don't have to stay too long together and just receiving teaching, go to all place and practice, go back to monastery and practice. So very easy to follow that one. And in here is like so many teachers coming, and then you don't know, and then also like one level is people who going to receive Dharma, that people also don't know Dharma, so they don't recognize he's sharing rare Dharma or not pure Dharma or not pure Dharma. So that's the reason is lots confused there. Yeah. So most important is like, so you know the teacher who comes, they have like some biographies, everything. So you recognize all his, that kind of teacher. And then same time you recognize which kind he's sharing teaching, you know, teaching. So talk about love, talk about compassion, talk about bodhicitta, talk about wisdom, talk about yidam deity. So then it's a Dharma there, correct, yeah, pure Dharma. Yeah, so then you receive that Dharma teaching. So from the teacher, and then just you recognize things, you know, like, you know, appreciate. And then some people, of course, everyone individual, some, especially in this time, like someone say, oh, that teacher said there was something wrong and like this is mistakes. Someone doesn't like it, that they're going to bring up something negative. You know, some people like that teacher, they bring the qualities positive. So this time is like that a lot. 100% say talk about quality, good things. Another like maybe 5% talk negative. So 5% is very strong, you know, who talk negative. Even like 95% recognize, talk about good qualities and great, but maybe 5% talk about negative. The 5% is very, very strong. more strong than like 95%. But then what like your job, if you already receive teaching, your job is, doesn't matter what the people says, just I'm just already received teaching and I practice Dharma. I'm, you know, how to say the, appreciate that. So kept that maintaining. Then whatever 5% says, just, you know, recognize their perception. You know, don't fight with them. Don't protect the teacher and, you know, just recognize all their perception. So their perception, just leave that way. Keep your perception. So that's the most important. Make sense or no? So yeah, like that's actually really help for you. Really help for you. Because you already received teaching, that teaching helping you. And then the teacher is already give you the teaching. So that is authentic teaching give to you. So you don't have to criticize. Whatever you receive is authentic teaching. Teacher is already give it to you. Some people has different perceptions. They criticize. You don't have to follow that. So then you don't create the karma, and you just keep your perception and view, and then that helps your quality is growing.
So is it okay though to question the Dharma teaching from the teacher, because we're not supposed to follow blindly?
No, you have to question, like especially Dharma question is always good. You know, you ask questions.
Thank you.
Yes, you have to ask questions. That's great. And then also you can ask questions like especially spiritual things, whatever you think. So you can ask questions. Then teacher job is to give answer that, you know.
Thank you, Drupan. That's very true. And without questions, you'll have no answers.
So yeah, it's right now it's you know, people, individual has perceptions. So individual followed their own perception, sharing things, saying things. That's the reason. And you know, you can see whatever, you know, you receive teachers, like another hand someone criticizes that teacher too, everywhere. So all over the place, so many people criticize His Holiness Dalai Lama, and he has 100% Dharma quality. So that we can see who practice Dharma, can feel, can see, recognize. But so many people criticize. Garchen Rinpoche has quality of Dharma, but also another hand, some people criticize too. And like that, you know, like even Buddha at that time is like also many people, his disciples, some other like criticize and against, and that went to separations. So that kind of like never stop, always happening is a samsara. So then I never say like everyone is like that kind of teacher, but qualities. But main point important is like long as you receive teachings, then you know someone criticize, just don't support them. You know, you recognize your wisdom, recognize. So then regular teachers, no one has 100% qualities, because it's everyone's a human being. So you can receive like your own perception is different ways. Everyone is a human being, so everyone recognize my own, you know, appreciate. I receive teachings from some other teachers, so that I appreciate them, because whatever they does is that's their job, what they do. And I know, so okay, they're great. This is a good teaching that helps me, and I appreciate. After some teachers, like some other people criticize, I don't follow them. And the teachers, I know that because, you know, whatever does things, like everything is cannot be 100% quality, even what that does things. also.
Yeah, you're all
Joke.
human.
Yeah, we are all human beings. Even you do something like, okay, like maybe 90 people happy, maybe 5% people not happy, So I recognize it that way. So okay, yeah, I know people what they says, like I don't lose like anything, like kind of uh the like whatever people says, like I just not lost my relationship. So that's I kept.
Very good. It's very hard. It's very good. Remember, Jay, your English is very good.
Okay, there any questions?
Yeah, Kempo, I know that I think Sylvia started to ask this, but it was a question that had come to my mind too. Like if somebody's saying angry words at you, then what do you do? Do you just not respond to that? Do you not, how do you work with things coming at you like anger, and different aspects of that?
So I can give you many different ways. If 100% Dharma practitioners, whatever people say harsh words, there is like it's become their use, that is their practice, passion, and comes compassion to the other people, right, who say harsh words. That is like practitioners does, but not me, okay? If you talking about me, so I depending, sometimes I have more awareness, sometimes I like not much awareness. So when I have awareness, more patience, I just try to take to right direction. But sometimes I don't have awareness right away, just comes something, a response. So it does mistake, Sometimes like I try to like stay okay, don't respond right away. Let be like hours and days, then I get something different view.
Try to view it differently. I think you're doing amazing.
Try to create like positive something, thinking about,
Lasso.
So that's helps for, giving, responding. And if right away give respond, it's always emotion. Because someone strong harsh words come from some other people, and then right away respond is always emotion. And so I step back a little bit and think about, then try to use like positivity, and someone also get that answer, but same time other people words, what the other people says, maybe it's like not mindfully they're telling us or really wanted to harm, but if I can use like some good words to reply back, then other people is like naturally they take out their anger. That who said the harsh words, they also mind emotion. So if I can reply back, it's like nicely, kind of same time answer is there, but words saying is like positive way. The other people respond right away back again. It's like you can see it's like that release emotion. So use that way. We need wisdom to use that way. I think that's if I don't right away, emotion take from me, and then I use that way.
Much more skillful than I.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, some parts, yes, Lasso.
Yeah. So not always happening that, some is just response right away, and through the emotion, of course, create problems too. So we all is like human being, individual.
Because like I would assume, Kambola, like every thought you have comes with emotion because you're thinking of it, right? So you have an emotional response. So, and then one thing I try to do, I'm only human, so I'm not I try to have less expectation, leads to less disappointment. Is this how you say? Something to help?
Yes.
Okay. To the jail.
You're
I'm just
welcome.
curious.
Kempo, I am aware of the time, but I'll ask this question tomorrow. But I'd like to know what to do when children or your own kids or anybody around you is being bullied.
So you mean bullied by some other people?
Yeah, I mean it happens all the time, right? Like in schools, perhaps even at work too. So if you're being bullied, how would you respond? I mean, it's one thing to have saying harsh words one time and you can say, okay, you know what, it's fine, I'm going to walk away from that. But if this is a continuous event and we heard so many teenagers committing suicide because of bullying.
Yes.
I mean, you have to put a stop to that, right? So, but like I said, I'm aware of the time, so I don't want to take up everybody else's time right now.
Yes. So yeah, it's we cannot really stop this happening because it's a samsara, and what we can do is like, okay, someone bullying somebody. The words is like, I don't know, I can say correctly. So like maybe your kids or your neighbors or someone you recognize that, and then it's go to talk to with the teacher and the community. Like really good way to presenting, right? So without anger and without let's try to more logically and understanding how to presenting really open-mindedly, try to open-mindedly present it to them, explain for them. So that is a good way to do, I think. And then of course in the job and someone bullying kind of co-workers and ignored, that is not easy. One day you can ignore, 2 days you can ignore, but then people has ignorance. Then that thing is like what they're doing is correct, and then that thing they're doing something great, become is due to the ignorance happening like that kind of, So that's the reason. Then you have to explain, try to explain good way, and so use the skillful method and talk about this, love, compassion, and then so explain. Some other people can really understand and feel, recognize. Oh, I did it. The other people think that, oh, I did it that time. She didn't upset, she didn't angry, but I thought I did it correctly. But actually, she really has good patience. She has really good love, compassion. That's why she didn't upset. So have to there, you have to recognize other people that what you did, like that. That helps for other people, remind them. So otherwise, there really goes ignorance again and again, and then create all the time like that for not only one person. There goes many like that. They hurt so many people.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
So then you can do okay, I can invite you lunch or dinner or something, go together and explain them, right?
Yeah, let me take you out for lunch and let me explain to you about bullying.
Rinpoche, you're doing amazing. Your talk is amazing. It's very to the point. I like. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay, so now I think we finished. So I'm going to chant the prayer, dedication. Om Zara Zanje Nawan Daye Daye Jo Du She Jembo Dan Om De Samba De Mai Sanje Samem Patin Gorji Go De Jiang Om Zara Pa De Me Ba Ye De Wa Jin Ye Sa Ve Shen Gang De Da yin de ne zen be jir ma da je wa yin je bar ma ju ba re te re jin ne nan de shan dong yo de ge da ge mo lan da ban de so je san sen dan je ji ge men zhe ba xin jie la de so Diya da ben zan zhe ya awang bo de na ye zo ai san jiu sen jiu ren bo jie ma jie ba nan jie jiu re jie jie ba nian ba me ba yang gong ne gong den pe wa re xiu so nam de ye dam jie zi ba nie dom nen yin be zha na ban ze de Jigan Nanja Balon Jubaya, Sipan Zolen Joa Joa Resho, Jambara Pave Chataran Chemba Dan Kenda Sambo de Ante Jende, Eda Kenja Jisa Daloje, Gewan de Da Dam Chera de Ho. Shizai Kinze Kinchen Chija Jetan Nella. I want to do wrong, but Rinchen Barja Temba Saint Bar Shadow Design Gomben in Georgia. Thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow morning.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Campos.
Campo.
Tomorrow.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Campo.
Thank you.
Thank you, Campo.
Okay, see you tomorrow. Bye.
See everybody tomorrow. Bye-bye.